to Toffee TV, it's the match preview. Premier League football is back. Stoke City at home. Goodison Park. Energy, Baz.
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock kick-off. Football.
You're asking me for energy for?
I'm not, I just want energy. I want energy in the room.
The players need energy.
So, first game of the season, it's always hard to predict where it's all going to go. Last year we played Spurs, the week before we played Espanyol in a friendly and looked absolutely dire. And then we turned up first game of the season without Lukaku. And we did pretty well, 70%, the manager already told us. This season, I think there's a bit more burden of expectation, especially considering the teams that follow. You know, last season it was like, it's Spurs game of the season, Spurs, that's sound. Then we've got West Brom and Sunderland and Borough, and it's sound. But this season, it's not quite like that. So this game suddenly does have a little bit more importance on it.
Sets the tone, doesn't it?
In terms of the result, yeah.
It's a must win, quite simply. Given that obviously we go to City and then we've got Chelsea, as well as the Europa League games. This is the one that you get off to a good start. Your first 3 points are there, your first home win, it sets a bit of momentum, and you can go to City then on the back of the victory. You know, they go to Brighton, I think, at the weekend, their first game. So, you know, ideally we will win the game, but it's always tough against Stoke, regardless of.
Always.
It is, isn't it? You know, last season we beat them 1-0 with a penalty. That the post and went in. We drew 1-1 away, so it's a tight affair twice. So it's a game we have to win. Yeah,
the pre-season, the European games have been a bit disappointing, haven't they? But I was encouraged by the Sevilla game, especially the first half. And I would stick with the team that we won with Sevilla. I'd put Kenny in instead of Holgate, and I'd be quite confident. I think. The quality, as we've said, the quality is there now, and we should be beating Stoke. We should be. And with those more difficult games afterwards, as you say, it's so important to get that first win, because if you don't get that win, the doubt, it's human nature, isn't it? The doubt, then you think, are we going to go to City? You know, we didn't do this against Stoke, we didn't do that, we picked him, why did we pick him? And then you look at it, and it's, if you get the win, then it's a win, and you sort of forget about Stoke, and you go into the next game with that confidence then.
Yeah. I think fans. I'm gonna introduce a radical suggestion into the mix here. I think fans are gonna have to be patient. I know, Twitterverse. I think fans are gonna have to be patient, because I think we can't just throw in the mix that we're continuing from last season. We're not continuing from last season. So much has gone on. We've lost a man who guarantees you goals, especially at home. Always guaranteed his goals at home. Especially in tight games, the lad would do it. We're introducing, 4-5 new players into the team. We're introducing a new style because of those players, and not an over-reliance on one player. And I think the thing that's going to suffer, obviously, is the goals. We're going to find it harder to score goals in the early months of the season for me. I think it will come, but I think it's not going to be, Sandro's going to score X amount away and Rooney's going to score X amount straight away. It's just not going to happen. And in a way, I mean, Stoke for me is it's one of the harder games, because they're going to come and go, we'll settle for a point here.
Yeah.
Away game, we'll come. But men, they're good defenders, like you mentioned. They've always got good defenders. We'll try and hit you for a point, maybe score off a set piece, and they'll be happy with that. And that's where I think it could be frustrating. And it's going to be interesting what happens over the next few weeks, because it's a funny one, because it could flip this. You could look at it on one hand and go, oh my God, we're going to be a struggling team when we're going to go in against City and Chelsea and Tottenham, and that's going to be so hard. But then if you look at the other side, you could say, well, actually, we're a team in flux, so those games don't actually matter. So if we get beaten then, like we normally do, then it's not the worst thing in the world, as long as the team are progressing and are finding the feet. Because what I wouldn't want is the team finding its feet against lesser opposition, where the points are almost more important, because they're the ones we're more likely to beat. So I suppose it's what side you look at it from, or what you believe in. But I do think Saturday is going to be a very tough game, and could be frustrating at times.
Yeah, there's decent defensively, aren't they? Just looking at, they had 11 clean sheets last season, but what I would say is they've lost Arnautovic to West Ham. He scored...
The Stoke Kevin Morales, of course.
Yeah. He scored 6 goals. He was their second top scorer with 6 goals last season and 5 assists. You know, Crouch got 7. Crouch is still there. He's always a threat. Still 37-year-old, giving it all that palaver. But then I suppose the flip side of that is they look at Everton and go, well, they've lost 30 goals because Lukaku got 25 and Ross got 5. They're not
Plus
playing.
the assists from both of them.
8 assists for Barkley, 6 for Lukaku.
Yeah.
So we're quite clearly not as potent on paper.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't hit the ground running, so to speak, in pre-season. We're not scoring bags of goals. And we, well, like we said on the, the video we done about the pre-season, we're missing a focal point, aren't we? We're missing, and it doesn't look like at the time of doing this video, it doesn't look as though we're going to have that Olivier Giroud character, person, type, E-type, whatever you want to call it, in time for this game. So we're gonna have to go a different way to try and beat these. Whereas last year we had Lukaku played in this one, didn't he? Just come back at West Brom. He started this one. He didn't have the greatest game, but he was an occupier, particularly at home. Defenders had to look at him, and others would come through. But like you've just said, the game's following. Learn on the job.
Yeah.
Learn on a job. A couple of years ago, Martinez's second season, we had the top 8 in the first 9 games from the season before, and we ended up unbeaten against those teams, which was incredible. A lot of draws, but we were unbeaten when we were looking and going to be near the bottom after those games. So you can never quite predict the way it's going to go, but it'd be great to get off with a big game.
I think Saturday as well, because the transfer window isn't closed. This isn't the Everton team for this season, is it?
No.
It's in October, November, you'll probably look back at how we kicked off the season and think, well, he started and he's nowhere near the team now, and we lacked that and we don't even play that way now. So I think that the opening game is so important, but I think there's an argument for the transfer window closing before the season starts, because we're still underprepared. Essentially, we've had a great summer. Don't get me wrong. We brought in loads of quality. We're a much better team. We're a different team, but there is still those gaps. And Stoke, I mean, that's the thing. For the 20 teams in the Premier League, they're all in the same situation. There are square pegs round holes as the managers are building their teams. But I think in terms of the quality we've brought in, we should have enough for Stoke. I've not been too impressed by their business. They brought Darren Fletcher in. They brought Timon in from Hull.
Kurt Zouma.
I think Kurt Zouma's a brilliant signing, but is he like a game changer? I think he's a good defender.
To do what they do.
To be honest, I don't want to speak too soon, but I think Stoke will struggle this season.
They'll struggle for goals.
Yeah,
definitely. And obviously,
yeah.
That's the bread and butter, isn't it? I think they will. I think you mentioned it. I mean, they haven't done brilliant business, but not many teams in that bottom half have.
I think the difference with Stoke is, though, they've let go of a few of the old guard. John Walters has gone. Obviously, people watching this are going to be thinking Walters and Whelan. Well, they're not, but they've been part of the club for so long that change can have a negative impact on a club.
Well, they've lost Walters, they've lost Whelan, they've lost Arnautovic, Bardsley's gone. So all the ones who, a lot of them play, I think all 4 of them played at Goodison last year, but they did because Walters, Stecklenburg made a great save from Walters late on. So them 4 have gone, and they were core players in their side. Yeah. So you look, they've got Shaqiri, he's obviously a danger man, but he's hot and cold, isn't he? Boyan's still there, isn't he? He's a great player.
He's come back,
He's a little bit hit and miss, isn't he? You don't know what you're going to get from him. He can be the match winner, as he proved a few years ago. Or he can struggle. I'm just looking at their pre-season. 3 wins, 2 defeats and a draw. The most impressive win was against Red Bulls Leipzig at the weekend. They got beat 1-0 and won it 2-1, but Monaco beat them 4-2. Sheffield United beat them. They drew with Young Boys. So a mixed bag. Played the same as us, 6 games. But arguably, well, not arguably, Everton are a better side. Yeah. Without a shadow of a doubt.
We are a better side, but it's not just about proving it.
Well, it is essentially.
The main thing. It's not because you don't have to play well and win. But I think you've got to have a format of playing. And I think last season, what was good for us when we kicked off last season was when Lukaku was in the side and Balassi. Early on in the season, we had a way of scoring goals. We didn't have to play well. We had a way of scoring goals and way of winning games.
But when we won this game last season, we got given a penalty for a pull that never happened again.
Yeah, and we were very lucky.
Which was mad, and we just scraped by, and that could happen again this week.
No, I'm not suggesting it couldn't. I'm just saying that I think they'll come shut up shot, try and get a goal off a set piece. It's first game of the season. Anything can happen. We know that. I think there has to be a degree of patience because we don't have that outlet anymore. It's going to be interesting to see if anyone steps up. Because pre-season's pre-season, and you sort of play with. Even though we've played 2 competitive games, to me it feels like the players have played within themselves just a little bit while fitness been finding the fitness, and it'll be interesting to see whether someone steps up. Now, for me, I would love that person to be Wayne Rooney. I would love to see him step up. Yeah. He scored his last goal for Man United against Stoke, last minute equaliser, got him the record, didn't it? I would love to see him step up and be a match winner and grow to the occasion. You know, full house at Goodison Park, the family enclosure's finished.
It will be
full house, lots of expectancy because of the business we've done. Premier League first game excitement, and it would just be great. Because what you don't want, like you understand if Sandro plays his first game and he's not brilliant. You'd understand if Klassen plays his first game and he's not brilliant. But we do need Rooney to have a good game. We do need him to carry us a little bit, if that's the right word. You can understand Klassen, you can understand Sandro not having a brilliant game, and people will go, they're adjusting. Premier League, they haven't played Premier League game yet.
Others will go.
Some won't, but we don't pay attention to those people. Whereas Rooney, those players are going that way. Rooney is supposed to be going that way. Don't give those people an excuse.
Yeah.
Use all your nous. Even if you have a solid 7 out of 10, but you've done nothing spectacular, but you've done maybe that one thing.
If he leads the team, if
exactly,
he's the better out,
lead the team by example.
Yeah. Get in the box, put the ball in the net.
Well, that would be the main thing. But I mean, there you go. Football, 1-on-1 by Baz. Put the ball in the back of the net. No, but what I mean is,
that's what he's got to do.
Yeah, no, but what I mean is, though, I want him to kickstart your Everton career. Listen, I want him to be a 9. I want him to be an 8. I want him to be a 10. But just make sure you're not anything below a 7.
Yeah.
Have a solid game. Make sure a lot of the pre-season has been a lot of misplaced passes by a lot of players.
Yeah.
Let's just be a little bit more professional. Get through the game. Hopefully get 3 points. Grind it out. First game of the season sometimes, just grind it out.
See, I think the full house will make a big difference. We played a couple of games and it's half, main standard and being open, but half of it's been shut, the family enclosure. It'll make a big difference when the crowd are all in as well. The expectancy, they've got a full week of training. That's the game. The only thing I temper it with is we never win the game of the season. It's always bloody draws, or so we've got to hit the ground running. In some respects, this is a perfect game for us because it's going to be a hard game. You'd look and go, Huddersfield at home would have been good.
Yeah.
But then again, how many times have those bloody teams come and they just QPR come and beat us a few years ago when he was grim. Wigan, Crystal Palace. You can go back, can't you, and look and go, Lombardo. That one
fella.
Yeah. What's a different fella? Well, I think so. But so this Saturday, you're right. But Rooney can be the match winner in these kind of games because he knows what it's all about. He's done it before. But it might take something like a penalty to win the match. It doesn't matter. What matters is at 5 o'clock we're on 3 points, and then I nearly said those horrible words. Then we get ready for Hajduk split later on in the week. But who knows? It could be at 10 minutes to go, and a certain Icelander steps off the bench and whips a free kick in the top corner. Who knows? But that's what might settle the game, something along those lines.
That's the thing, I think, because the Sigurdsson thing's gone on so long, it feels as though the positivity's been drained ever so slightly. But I think when everyone's walking down Goodison Road on Saturday, I think that's going to be one of the best atmospheres we've heard in a very long time at Goodison, because there's that expectancy. The first game of the season, everyone's going to remember, we have signed 6 or 7 players, we have spent 100 million, and I think that's the difference between last season and this season. Last season we were all very apprehensive because of what we knew. We knew that the team wasn't 100%. We knew that we were playing a team in Tottenham.
And Lukaku wasn't playing.
Yeah,
and we were crap the season before.
Even though it was a draw on the opening day, I think a lot of us came out of Goodison.
There's a lot of honesty surrounding that game as well.
There was
70% being fit, and you could see literally seen the drop off.
That's 70%.
But I think there is a lot of confidence around the club.
Imagine Saturday you're sat there and at half time, Van Dijk, Giroud and Bakambu get brought on, with the it'll be amazing. Have Sigurdsson warm up. be great.
But I think there is a real confidence, and as you say, it's a good game, Stoke, because it's not a sort of bogey team that have just come up, that are really relishing the occasion. Stoke are, I think personally, are a bit stale, a bit tired. It's just another new season. Has things changed for them really? And you know, they'll come to Goodison happy with a point, and I think that's the sort of team you want. Whereas if you play a Huddersfield, at Brighton, they want to get those 3 points. They want to shock you straight away. So, but it's also good that we know Stoke are beatable. We're not playing United, City, Chelsea, where, you know, I'd still have the confidence. But with Stoke, you should.
But they're hard enough for us to know that we have to respect it's going to be a tough game.
And if we do get the win, that's real something to take from it, that we've done a professional job on a solid Premier League Stoke City
Don't
team.
forget, it's all about momentum, isn't it? We managed to get the momentum going at Goodison last season. Okay, it took till Christmas really to get that momentum going, but we got it going, and then every game you were like, how many will it be today? It wasn't will we win this home game, it was how many will it be.
That's the thing, we've all said that we need a target man, but can you imagine if we got 3 or 4 against Stoke in different passages of play, then you could look at it and go, well, let's get the target man, we still need them. But this Everton team does have goals, so it's so important. It does have a big bearing on how you then play.
That's what made the big difference, Sandro scoring against City, because I know it's not in competition, but he scored at Goodison. He's off the mark now and things.
And and scoring against the team that he knows is a good side from back home, so that'll give him his confidence. I think what's exciting in a way is that, even though we've had the pre-season, it's still all up in the air a little bit, you know, how these players are going to react in a Premier League environment. Alright, we've had 2 European games, fine, that's a different thing, we've had friendlies, but it's actually the nitty-gritty of the Premier League and how, you know, the sway of the whole game, and you know, you're in the crowd, that's going to be a full house. We haven't had one, you know, some of the players won't have experienced that at Goodison. Well, you know, the ones who've signed won't have, and also it will be a lot of people seeing these players for the first time as well. Because even though the cup game was full, it was still summertime, and you don't always, you know, people are still away, and you get some randoms.
The family closures, not anything.
But that's what I'm saying. You get people who don't go to the game all the time because they can't get a ticket, and there's all those factors. So it is going to be first game of the season. It is a little bit random.
I think last season, the week before the Spurs game, but we'd gone on to Sunday. We were all there, and we got them get beat. We lost Coleman. Lukaku was out injured. We were looking, going, will we bring anyone in the week? And it was all of it. We knew that
the expectations were tempered, weren't they?
And everything was a bit like, and we went playing Spurs, who we know is a good side. So you kind of get in the ground and go, right, okay, we are what we are today. We've got to get behind them. Let's see what happens. And you know, Ross scores and everyone's buoyed, and you know, Delafeu makes it 2-0 at half time, like he should have done. We might win the game. I'm okay. It ended up, we were lucky to get a point. In the end, we had to. The last 20 minutes was hard to watch. You know, we had to stick in there. But that's what I'm saying. This time, the bounce should be there because we have done good business. We have got Wayne Rooney back at the club. We have got a young, exciting Spanish forward. We have got the Ajax captain and the Burnley captain and a great young goalkeeper. You know, everyone should be buzzing for this. Okay, we're not finished, but everyone should be buzzing.
And I think from an opposition point of view, though, the 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 Stoke fans coming, they're not coming to Everton confident of getting a result. They're going to, because the perception's changed, they know how much money we've spent. They're going to be going with a bit of trepidation. They're going to one of the top 7 now. And I don't worry as such, but whereas we had the free flowing goals last season, teams are going to come up to Goodison and they're going to set out to defend, I think. Because we're a completely new team, we're a threat, and as Ped said, getting a point at Goodison has always been probably an achievement for a lot of teams, but now even more so. They will come and they will sit, even likes of Stoke.
That's another really important factor though. Last season we built that reputation at Goodison. Again, we got beat by Liverpool, we got beat by Chelsea, but we had a real reputation at home, winning games, churning the wins out. There wasn't that too many draws. Win and win and win every single week, and that's a big thing as well. If you create that environment, that team's fear, and that's already in the back of the mind, that's another thing we've got to keep going this season. Because season before, we all remember how absolutely just, you know, gutless we were at home, and how there was nothing there, and teams came and just did what they want. So we've got to create that environment. Hopefully the players take that, the ones who are from last season, take that in and go, this is our ground. No one comes here and has has a right to do anything. Cause
that's what I think Leighton Baines said during the Martinez years, when things really took a turn for the worst. He said that when he would go away on England duty, or when he would talk to opposition players, they used to say, I hate coming to Everton. But as he spoke to more of them during the Martinez years, he said they'd relish it, and he said that actually hurt him a bit. The Goodison wasn't the fortress, and I think the players, because of last season and because of Koeman's sort of mentality as well, I think there is a real pride and a determination to make Goodison that fortress and to keep getting the wins.
It's got to be a fortress. That's the base for what you do. You know, if we repeat our home form from last season, this season, and we're very still 17 games unbeaten at Goodison, 13 wins, 4 draws. We get that, and then we improve our away form. You know, you're right up there. You know, people talk about there being this massive gap between us and the top 6.
There isn't.
There wasn't. It was 15 points, fair play. There was, but the amount of away games we blew. I'm not saying there isn't a gap, or sorry, there wasn't a gap. Of course there was, because they won more away games. But if we could have turned 4 wins into 8
we know
or 9,
we know that we're good enough to have got those results. Admittedly, we didn't. But we know that there's a scenario where those results, they could have been wins.
They could have.
And then
I'm not even talking about Liverpool away, and we could have lost to all the top 6 away. But there was still 13 other games. And we only won 4 of them.
Because you look at Liverpool, was it 15 points they finished? If we win those 2 derby games, which were, I mean, at Anfield it wasn't as tight. The first game could have been 1-0 to us. If you win those, if you do a double in the derby,
it's 9 points. The swing drops immediately, doesn't it?
Straight away.
Well, even we
it'd
went
be
into
3 points actually, because they'd lose 6 and we gained 6.
Where we went in,
look at that. That's
we went to Anfield. If we'd have beat them at Anfield, there'd have been a point in it. That was in April. That was April. So. And I know it's all ifs and buts, of course, but what I'm saying is we built our home form up so well last season that if our away form would have been like it had been under Moyes at times, where we've won 8 or 9 away games, we'd have the same points as Liverpool. So, alright, we might have still finished 6th, or United might have got better, but we were close to them when they were having a great season. Now, okay, we've lost. The big thing for us is Barkley and Lukaku have gone. Or one looks like he's on his way, and Rom's gone. So how do we cover those goals? You hope the Klassen gets into double figures. You hope Rooney does. You would like Sando too. That's going to be the biggest key area for us.
I think as well, this is going to be a rare Saturday 3 o'clock kickoff.
And
I think the atmosphere will be that much better because it's Saturday 3 o'clock. Because there'll be a lot of Sundays 4 o'clock.
Spurs is 3, isn't it? The next home game, but then
so I think that's really important as well, that we can take advantage of that. It's always a different atmosphere, isn't it? I think.
I don't really worry about atmospheres on first game of the season. I think they look after themselves. Everyone's.
But that's what I mean.
Everyone goes for a pint and hasn't seen each other for ages and all those kind of things. So it's not. It's just, you know, as I say, it's just how we turn up and how. And as I say, that having the fortress thing, I think, is a really important thing. You want every away fan coming to a game going, oh, I'm not sure about this, or they get doubt in the mind, and that helps because if the players start slowly and that quiets them down, and it all works like it used to work against us when we were at home. You know, as soon as that first back pass mistake or cross against the back 4 or whatever, then exactly. So
if we win this game, it just like kind of reaffirms that Everton is stronger home. You know, because people start going, they were brilliant at home last year, weren't they? And they've won again. Right, okay, so teams look and go, these are good at home. So when we go away, it's going to be difficult. Whereas if we get beat and then people go, well, Lukaku's gone now, Barkley, so they won't be the same team. Which is a lot of people's view. They're not going to be the same team. They're going to fall away.
We've been the story of the summer as well. There's going to be football fans all around the country watching their team, and you can no doubt they'll be on the phone a full time, and they will have a look at our results because we've been the narrative of the whole summer. It's Everton spending money. We want to get in the top 4, and they'll all be looking, hoping that we've lost 1-0. That, you know, Everton have changed that much that I don't think we are little Everton anymore. I think teams will slowly start to want us to lose games because of what we're trying to do.
Especially the top sides, they'll want us to lose, and with the Rooney factor as well, like people keeping their eye out for us. So it's up to us, and as I say, that's why I think it's important Rooney gets off to a good start, just to keep that going and shed that negativity that people saw at Man United. Always on his way down. And there's people at Everton. There's Evertonians I've seen already on Twitter, almost hoping he. I didn't want him at first, but then I got wrapped up in the excitement, and now I don't want him again. Why? Because he hasn't been absolutely amazing in the 2 competitive games he's played. It takes time. You've got to get that. You know, you've got to get all that sort of out of your system.
He's got to get used to playing every game again. and playing with different players. You know, he's had Juan Mata and people like that at United, Marshall and Rashford. He's got to get used to playing. Last year he didn't play. He played a lot of games, but he wasn't in a team every week. We're not up to speed. If we'd brought someone in, I don't know, anyone in the first and they're in the pre-season, you look and go, he's going to be good when he's sharp. Like, you look at Klassen and that, I think he'll be great in a few weeks when everyone's up to speed. Sandro, when he's used to it. That's what you do, don't you play? You can't go, Wayne Rooney, well, he's not as sharp as anyone else, so he's definitely on his way out. It's a load of rubbish, because some of his play so intelligent, some of his... You know, he didn't have a very good game at Bruges and Berach. Not many of them did. No. Yeah, he was still involved in the goal. He's still done a little bit of class to flick it round the corner. Klassen played a great little through ball and Calvert-Lewin, and we win the game 1-0. He comes off, we won the game 1-0. Yeah. You know, so he's the class, the intelligence is there. Once everything, it's the ground. Once everyone's up to the same speed and we get a pattern of play, I don't worry about Wayne Rooney.
I wouldn't even say I've judged Rooney's performances, because I know, as we've said before, he's not able to play to the best of his ability yet because of how we're setting up. We need that person in front of him, that focal point, so he can play little balls in and he can move around the pitch rather than just being on the periphery of the box. He's either having to take a shot, pass backwards. So he hasn't been amazing, but I still think he's been a cut above. So every game, there's little things he does. I mean, I go back to the game in Kenya, it was just that goal. Just that little step yard back to get away from the defender, and he curls it in. And you look at it, and that's what he can do, and not many players can.
It's going to take, it takes like every season, it takes 6 to 12 games to really establish what's going on. Yeah. You know, you look at his last season, started great, then dropped off, and then when we got to, you know, Christmas time, we sort of found our legs again. That's the Premier League. You know, it takes time.
It's a tough season.
First few weeks, you are literally playing on you know, little bits and pieces. Look at Man City last 2 seasons. They've had the League One in October, and then
Arsenal fully imploded. They come to Goodison in December unbeaten, whacking everybody, and you know they weren't unbeaten because Liverpool beat them. They'd lost to Liverpool, then they didn't lose again, did they? And they come to Goodison flying. Everyone was going. I remember talking in here to Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV, going, you could win it because you look absolutely brilliant. Everton beat them. City beat them. They ended up finishing 6th or something, didn't he? So it just shows you, and that's only from Christmas, how it can turn.
It's a long season, isn't it? It's a long season. We always, every season, people just forget how long this is. And do you know what? To be honest, the only sort of man who I think who fully understands it is Mourinho. He seems the only one who knows how to pace a Premier League football team. The rest... people will argue Conte might have a good but he did it the other way, didn't he? Started rubbish and then changed it all round, and then had a brilliant sort of the last 6-7.
That should encourage though, shouldn't it? Because they got turned over at Chelsea, at Arsenal, and they could have got beat 6 that day. They were horrendous, weren't they? And then the next minute Liverpool had beat them at home and everything. They went there, he turned it on, he got a couple of wins, and then momentum started, and the good players.
Liverpool are another example. Liverpool looked really good till January. Mane went, a couple of injuries, you suddenly seen the depth. They went out to the League Cup and the FA Cup in the same week, and dropped out of the top 4 at one point, all in the same week in January, because you suddenly, you know, you've seen that it's all about depth in the Premier League, and that's the thing. So you can't just be turning around going, oh, I've looked at a couple of players in pre-season and the garbage. Now my brother-in-law told me after 45 minutes at Sheffield Wednesday that Pino was rubbish. In the League Cup. You've got to give players time to bed in, a system to bed in, and that won't just happen Saturday. So
it's a tricky game, but I think it's a good game for us because we know that we know as fans these are horrible. So we know that we have to get behind the team. You know, you want a couple of dog tackles which you'll get from Shawcross and that'll get the crowd.
I think no Shawcross will be playing anymore. Some of the players they brought in at centre back.
Shawcross will play.
I think as well, like we've all raved about.
Play 3 at the back.
We've raved about Pickford and Keane, but over the 38 game season, they're going to have one bad game. They're going to.
Don't be sad.
Don't be sad. No, but this. But this the thing that I'm saying. That's how things it can change. Yeah, I'm sure you look back at your old Toffee TV videos. You'll have an opinion on one player, and then a few months later, it can completely change.
Never change.
The next video.
That's for good. Change your mind, really.
No.
I think it's been a really productive summer in terms of getting plays, and we're not finished. I think that's the biggest thing. We're not finished, despite people trying to tell you they've got no money now and he's a fraud and it's all this crap started again. I don't know what'll happen when Sigurdsson signs for 50 million. It'll be he's still a fraud or something. But
be the Barkley money.
Yeah, there you go. So we get them in, get the extra players in, and I'm quite sure in September when we play Spurs and it starts for real.
Starts for real.
No, well, what I mean by that is
the
season, the window's shut then, and you've got those players at least till January. But it's a big month, August. We've got these games, we've got a couple of tough away games, and the Hadjuk split games are massive for us. In terms of developing the squad, being able to give players enough time and to move forward, because it might well be that this is Everton's easiest route to the Champions League win the Europa League, which is tough because it's about 300 games, but who knows, Man United done it last season.
Yeah, there you have it. There's the Stoke preview. I hope we filled you with confidence and whatever else. Let us know your thoughts in the comments about the game. Thanks, Baz. Let us know your thoughts in the comments about this game, or your predictions for the season. Don't forget as well, fantasy football. That's a thing, isn't it? That everyone does in August and then forgets about the next month. We've got a league. Check out the links on our Twitter account and our Facebook account. Go and check that out, because that'll be the last time you check it. You just put your team in and then forget all about it. But you're all every year, you still do it. Don't forget, if you want to subscribe to us on Patreon as well, the link will be coming up in a little minute, just over here. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you later.